everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd film a slightly different style of video. So I'm filming this on Friday, it's currently my birthday today, and you guys will see this in 2 days time on Sunday. I wanted to film a birthday video, and when I was looking online for some inspiration, I came across this video that Lily Pebbles had filmed last year, I believe, and it was 29, I think she turned 29. So she talked about 29 positive things that happened to her in the past year, in between her previous birthday and her current birthday. So I thought I would basically steal that idea and do that for myself. Unfortunately though, I wish I could say I was turning 29. I have just turned 32, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit depressing, but also it was a bit of a struggle trying to think of 32 positive things that have happened to me in the past year without making them all about the blog, all about YouTube, or just all about holidays. But eventually I got there. So I'm sat here armed with my notebook, and I thought I would tell you 32 great things that have happened to me since my last birthday. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit with the first one, but my dad's birthday is a couple of days before mine, and last year he celebrated his 60th birthday. So he thought that my mum was taking him to Madrid for her birthday, but instead my sister Jess and I decided to surprise him. So we got there a couple of days earlier and we decorated the room with balloons, a cake and some banners and stuff like that, but he was really surprised. We honestly thought that my mum would give it away, but she actually managed to keep a secret, which was great. First time for everything. Number two, I'm also kind of cheating with. So for my 30th birthday 2 years ago, my aunt bought me a gift voucher for a champagne afternoon tea at the Dorchester Hotel. I hadn't used it all year, and I decided to use it the day before my birthday last year, right before it expired. And it was just such a nice experience. Jess and I were already in London, I think. And I think it was also one of the hottest days of the year. Wow. That's thunder outside. Anyway, yeah, so it's one of the hottest days of the year, and conveniently their air conditioning wasn't working, so we were kind of melting while we were having afternoon tea. But it was just such a nice experience. It was my very first formal afternoon tea, if you like, and the Dorchester is great. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. Number three, I think it was in July or August last year, one of Jass's friends got married and we were both invited, so we went on a road trip to Kent. It was a half Portuguese and a half English wedding, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but it was just one of the nicest weddings I've ever been to. I'd never met the guy before. I didn't know a single person at this wedding apart from Jass, but everyone was just so friendly. They were really welcoming. The day was just organised to perfection. It was such a great day, and I really want to go to more weddings now. Last summer, I properly started weekly vlogging. I only really vlog for a maximum of 2 or 3 days in a week, otherwise the vlog would be ridiculously long, and normally it's over the weekend. So prior to that, I'd only really done travel vlogs, which are completely different. I felt a little bit exposed, sort of opening my life up to YouTube. So it was a little bit daunting, but I'm really glad that I started. I just love documenting my life, and it's so nice to watch back on those vlogs, to look back on fond memories and just watch old videos back, not that I have yet. Last summer, I also started going to more blogger events. I'd been to a couple, I think, before the summer, and they were quite hit and miss. They weren't that great. And then in the summer, I discovered the 30 Plus Collective, and that's a collective that's run by Hayley from London Beauty Queen. She set this up for older bloggers, and I went to my very first 30 Plus event, which was the Smashbox one, and it was just such a great day. It was so nice to be in the Smashbox studio and just be surrounded by other people that get it, because sometimes blogging can make you feel a little isolated. I'm not going to say lonely, because I feel like I know quite a lot of bloggers and there's always conversations going on everywhere, online, offline, everywhere, but I just think it was such a great event, and I always love meeting new bloggers. Okay, so number 6 is a little bit materialistic, and I was in two minds about whether to include it or not. There's no cutaways for this, but I just decided that, you know what, it was a really great thing that happened last year, and I'm really happy. So I bought my dream car in June, right after my birthday last year, and I've wanted this car since I was probably about 12 years old, and it's always kind of been a dream. I mean, it's not a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. I'm not talking about something super fancy or like a super fast car. It's probably kind of mid-range for most people, I don't know, but for me it's my dream car, and I'm really glad that I bought it. When I was a kid, I used to go to the motor show in Birmingham with my uncle. I think I went quite a few times, and I was really into cars. I mean, I don't know like a lot about cars, but I've just always liked flashy cars, and I'm really happy that I now kind of own a semi-flashy car. At the beginning of the year, I redesigned my blog. I have never redesigned it. I basically just had a custom theme when I first started, and although I really liked it at the time, I think I only really liked it for a couple of months, and it started to look quite dated quite quickly. But I didn't want to take the plunge and redesign it straight away because I didn't know if I'd like blogging or if I wanted to continue with it. So I'm really glad that I finally changed it. I managed to do it all myself with the help of Pipdig, which was absolutely great. I love the way that it looks now, and I think it's a lot more user-friendly. But yes, I'm really happy with that. Going back to the 30+ events I went to in the summer, I met 2 bloggers last year, Humera and Nitao, and I love the fact that they live quite close by, so we don't have to go all the way into London to meet up. We can just meet up locally, and I think that's really great, because I think that's always a problem with living in London, and you always have to travel at least an hour to meet somebody normally, so I think that's the one downside to living in London. But yes, I met these 2 bloggers, which are both lovely, and it's just so nice to be friends with other people that get it. I know I've said that before, but it's just so true. Every blogger I mentioned, by the way, I'll leave their blog link down below, so make sure you go and check that out. If you watch my weekly vlogs, you'll know how much of a struggle this was, but I finally bought an Indian outfit that I actually love. I feel like in the past I've always just settled for something and I've never really liked it. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're never comfortable. I've never ever found a single Indian outfit that is comfortable, but I actually found one that I like, and it didn't break the bank, and I wore it to an event and I survived the event, and I just thought that was quite a big milestone. Back in October, I think, I visited Stockholm, and that is where my love affair with Scandinavia began. I'd always wanted to go to Scandinavia. I'd heard horror stories about how cold it is and how expensive it is, and I will admit it did put me off. Don't get me wrong, it is expensive and it is really cold. Don't underestimate the weather like I did and live in the same jumper for the entire time that you're there. But I just loved Stockholm. There's just something about Scandinavia that's just so beautiful. The people are lovely. I just love Scandi design, and it was just an amazing little city. After that, we then went to Copenhagen and to Oslo, and absolutely loved Copenhagen. Oslo was good. Not sure that I'd be in a hurry to go back, but I just love Scandinavia, and now all I want to do is tick Finland and Iceland off that list. Last October, I challenged myself to do lots more Halloween special effects makeup looks, and I'm completely self-taught. I literally make it up as I go along, and I'm so proud of myself that I managed to do, I think it was 11 videos throughout October. I think they're all tutorials, and I was so pleased with the way that they turned out. I absolutely love doing creative stuff like that. Back in October again, I was invited to the Blogger Halloween party, and this was in Birmingham. If you know me, you'll know that blogging and Halloween are up there with travel and makeup for me. They're just some of my favourite things ever, and it was just so nice to have been invited. It was my first event outside of London, so Jess and I went on this little road trip, and I think he went off to go and see some friends, and the event was just so much fun. It was so nice to meet some other bloggers that I probably wouldn't have ever met otherwise, because I don't think anybody else was from London as far as I know. So that was just such a nice party, and it was so much fun. Number 13 took me a little while to figure out, but Jess and I managed to tick off 6 countries off our bucket list this year, which is absolutely insane. It was more than we'd ever try and do in a year, but we went to Stockholm, Copenhagen and Oslo, like I said. So we ticked off Sweden, Denmark and Norway. Obviously we haven't done the whole country, but we've done those cities. But we also ticked off Malaysia, Bali and Singapore, and every place we went to was just incredible in its own right. And I think it's such a nice feeling to tick off 6 countries off a bucket list in 1 year. Number 14, going back to Halloween, these are in no specific order, by the way. I did my first ever sponsored video, and it was for a Halloween special effects makeup tutorial, and I was just so proud to have been recognised for something that I've had absolutely no training in. Like I said, all my special effects stuff is completely self-taught. I literally make it up as I go along, and it was just such a nice feeling to get that recognition and have a brand wanting to like pay me to create a video for them. So as well as going to loads of events and meeting new bloggers and making friends with new bloggers, there are so many bloggers that I talk to online, and in fact I probably talk to a lot of these girls more than I talk to my actual friends. In fact, no, I definitely talk to these other bloggers way more than I talk to my actual friends. And at Christmas I did 2 Secret Santas with 2 of them. I did one with my friend Parry from Class and Glitter. Again, I'll leave her blog link down below, and we basically did a gift swap. And if you know me, you'll know how much I love buying presents for other people. It was just such a great feeling, and she knows me so well. She bought me some amazing things. I also did another 5-way Secret Santa. It was between me, Dorota, Dagmara, Leanne and Siobhan. I was buying for Leanne, I think, and Siobhan bought for me, and again, she just knew me so well. She got it down to a T, and I just think it was such a nice idea to do these Secret Santas, because most of us, I think, don't have work colleagues, and this kind of just feels like you have colleagues. It was just really nice. Okay, so the next one I'm trying to turn into a positive. It's more funny than positive, to be honest. But last Christmas, my parents had gone away for about 6 weeks, and my sister and I decided to take it upon us to cook Christmas dinner for the family. Now, if you're Asian, you know that the family doesn't just mean your mum, dad and your sister and brother or whatever. It means your whole extended family. I think there was about 20 or 25 of us, and somehow we took it upon ourselves to do it. It didn't really work. We made about, I'm not even exaggerating, about 30 trips to all different supermarkets on Christmas Eve, loads of different people, because we kept forgetting all the ingredients. And if my uncle hadn't decided to step in and basically take over on the day, I don't think Christmas dinner would have been ready until at least Boxing Day, maybe the day after. So yeah, that was a funny memory to look back on, but also it made us realise just how much my mum actually does on Christmas Day, because normally she's the one cooking for the whole family. I only realised number 17 a few days ago, and oh my god, I was in shock. I have hit just under 400,000 views on my YouTube channel, which is absolutely insane. I would never have even dreamt that people would watch my videos 400,000 times. I mean, I think I'm currently about 2,000 views off, but I mean 400,000, that's almost 500,000. That completely blows my mind. That's insane. I still can't get over that. When JASS and I got married, we looked at so many different honeymoon destinations, and one of the places that was highly recommended to us was Langkawi. And I guess at the time we didn't want to do anything too typical of a honeymoon. Like, we didn't want the standard honeymoon, and for some reason we just didn't seriously consider it. I'm not sure why, but anyway, we ended up going to Langkawi. All these years later, we went to Malaysia, and it is such a beautiful island. If you're getting married or just looking for a really nice, beautiful destination that isn't the Costa del Sol, god, I sound like a right holiday snob, but yeah, if you're getting married and just looking for a beautiful destination, I cannot recommend Langkawi enough. We stayed in 2 of the best hotels that we have ever stayed in this year. One was the Ambong Ambong Hotel in Langkawi, and it was just a completely different experience. I was terrified when I first got there, because I'm terrified of everything, but this is basically a rainforest retreat. It's quite secluded, it's surrounded by monkeys, you have to be really careful. The rooms are all in the treetops, and it's one of the best hotels we've ever stayed in. And the second one was the Laguna in Bali. We have never stayed in a 5-star resort before, and because Asia is so affordable, when we booked it, I don't think we realised it was going to be as good as it actually was. I mean, we had a 24-hour butler, and we booked the most basic room. I mean, why would you need a 24-hour butler? I don't know. It was just the nicest hotel ever. And that's also a really good honeymoon destination. I think it was in January or February, maybe, just before we went traveling for a month. JASS and I hosted a family pizza and wine night. It was such a great night. We had such a laugh. We don't often have all the family round to ours. I think that's because we live in a flat and seating's always quite limited. So normally we go to one of my aunt's or my uncle's houses, but this time around we had everyone round to ours. We just ordered Domino's, had loads of wine. We played a few games. I can't remember what they were, but it was such a nice night. And then a few weeks later, my aunt had everyone round to hers for a Thai night, and I just think it was quite a nice little tradition to start. All the little kids have currently got exams, we've kind of put it on hold for now, but I just think it was quite a nice little thing to do, and I hope we do more of them soon because they're so much fun. I get serious family FOMO, by the way, so I feel like I have to be at every single event, otherwise I'm just going to miss out on something really exciting. JASS and I went to Singapore, as you may have seen, back in March or maybe April, and my cousin Roshni has been living out there for 2 years. She's always traveling. She travels way more than I do, and she's lived in so many different countries, so we don't often get to spend a lot of time together, and I just think we had such a lovely time in Singapore. It's always nice to have like a local on holiday with you, so you get to see things that are not just necessarily touristy, but you also get to see like how the locals live and how things are done. But more importantly, it was just so nice to spend a lot of time with her, because I think the last time I properly saw her was actually about 2 or 3 years ago, and we'd gone on a family holiday to Barcelona, and she was living out there then too. Speaking of spending time with people over Christmas, like I said, my parents were away for Christmas, and JASS and I spent about a week, maybe a bit more than a week, up in the Midlands, and we stayed with my grandparents. I absolutely love spending time with my grandparents. We just have such a laugh. They're both hilarious. We're all really close. I love how well they get on with JASS as well, and I just treasure every single moment that I spend with them. A few weeks ago, I was invited to the best blogger event I have ever been invited to. It was such an honour and it was such an incredible experience. I'm still not over that one. I was invited to a Disney and Mac masterclass that took place on stage at the Prince Edward Theatre in London, and it was just amazing to be on stage where Aladdin is actually performed. We got to meet some of the cast members, we got to meet the makeup artists, we got to see some of the products they use and how they create the looks for these iconic characters. And I mean, I love Mac, I love Disney. I just don't think any event will ever top that. It was absolutely incredible. Number 24 is actually linked to the previous one. So after the masterclass, we were allowed to bring a guest. I chose JASS and we went for brunch with all the other bloggers and I think some of the production team maybe, and there were some journalists there. I could be mistaken, but we had a really nice brunch and then we got tickets to go and watch a matinee. We had a choice of Aladdin or The Lion King. I chose Aladdin because we'd already seen The Lion King years ago and it was just such an incredible show. Totally worth it. It was just absolutely magical. It was brilliant. It was funny. It was just everything that you would expect it to be and more. And for me and JASS, I think it had been about 2 or 3 years at least since we last went to the theatre. So now we're like, what can we see next? We really want to see something, go back to the theatre because it's just so much fun. 4 or 5 days after Aladdin, it was JASS's birthday and I booked really last minute tickets for us both to go and see Wicked at the theatre. That was so good. I did make the mistake of booking seats quite far away. I didn't really look at the seating plan, I just quickly booked the tickets. So that was a lesson learned, but it was just so nice to spend an evening in London, celebrate JASS's birthday. And now he gets teased a lot actually from all of his work colleagues that seem to think that he's obsessed with the theatre, because I mean we did go twice in about 5 days. Number 26, I was invited to a Manfrotto masterclass. It was an event for YouTubers specifically as opposed to just bloggers, and I thought that was really nice because I don't feel like there are enough events just for YouTubers, and because I do both I always feel like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I'm not quite a proper blogger because I don't just blog all the time, and I'm not quite a proper YouTuber because I don't vlog all the time, so I kind of feel a bit not left out, but I just feel like I'm on the fence sometimes. So it was really nice to go to this event. It was set in this really beautiful loft. It was this really nice event space. We had Josie from Fashion Mumbler there giving us her tips on vlogging. We had a videographer, I think, giving us his tips on lighting. And I just think it was really nice to meet loads of YouTubers, again, I talked to on social media, but also to learn how we can improve our channels. A few weeks ago, I think it was back in April, my aunt had a week off work, and because I work from home, me and her both decided to go and spend a week with my grandparents up in the Midlands. And again, it was just really nice. I mean, I'm not going to say it was relaxing because there's always loads of jobs to do while we're there, sort out their paperwork and stuff like that, but we had a really nice time, and again, it was really nice to spend some time with them. Whew, I think this video is going to be really long. Moving on to number 28. Last year, I think, was the year for big birthdays in my family. So my cousin celebrated her 16th birthday, and I can't really remember if it was a surprise party. It was back in October, but we had a really nice family party at her house. And then in August, just before then, my aunt celebrated her 50th birthday. So again, we had a really nice family party. We went to a restaurant, and then we ended up at my uncle's house. And so yeah, they were just 2 really nice days. So if you saw one of my last vlogs, you'll have seen that my sister has gone traveling for 6 months. And actually, I forgot to mention that she's gone to South America. I had so many people asking me where she went because I think I was filming like a chatty get ready with me and I just forgot to say where she'd gone. So she's currently in South America. She'll be back around mid-November time, I reckon. And the night before she left, she came to London because she was staying at my aunt's house to go to the airport the next day. And JASS and I went to go meet them for dinner, which was really nice actually, because it's really rare for us to see each other when it's not Christmas. She used to live in Manchester, and I think it's mostly because of the distance. And even though my parents sort of live about halfway between London and Manchester, it's just very rare for us both to be at our parents' house at the same time, I guess. So that was really nice to see her. Okay, we're almost there, bear with me. So you will have seen in last week's vlog that JASS and I are giving our flat a complete makeover. It's been 7 or 8 years, it's been a long time coming, and I just feel like our tastes have changed since we last decorated. So although it's still a work in progress, I'm really pleased with the way that it looks, and I'm so glad that we finally got around to doing it. Last summer, I think it was, JASS, my cousin Benita, and I spent a really nice weekend in London together. It started off by me going to the hairdressers in London. I got my hair cut at Colour Nation on Oxford Street, and if you know me, you'll know that I hate getting my hair cut. In fact, prior to that, it had been 2 years since my last haircut, and that was my last haircut in the summer, so I'm kind of due another one. So yeah, I got my hair cut, and then I met up with Benita and JASS, and we went to this really random car park in Stratford in East London, and they had crazy golf on the roof, they had an open air cinema, a bar. It was such a chilled out vibe. It was like full of like hipsters, I would say, and it was just so different to something that we'd normally do on like a Friday or a Saturday night. It was just such a good day, and I really want to do one of those soon actually. But anyway, moving on to the dreaded number 32. God, I can't believe I'm 32. That's just terrifying. This is just something really exciting that happened this morning, and it's just completely made my day, and I'm so happy about it. Oh God, I can't stop smiling. So this morning my landline was ringing, and straight away I knew it was my gran ringing to wish me a happy birthday, because everyone else would just text me or WhatsApp me. She's the only person I think that would ring my landline. So I went to answer it, fully expecting it to be my gran, and it was my granddad, and I was so shocked. I actually went silent, and he was like, hello, are you still there? I know it doesn't sound like much, but my granddad rarely talks on the phone. I think it's because he's quite hard of hearing, that he just can't be bothered to talk on the phone, because the other person will have to shout, and he'll have to shout and whatever. So he rarely talks on the phone. He gets my gran to make all the phone calls, and honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him actually make a phone call. I mean, he probably did when I was a kid, but in recent years I've never seen him make a phone call, and I was just so touched. I just thought that was so sweet, and I was like, oh, he's too cute. That really made my day. But that is everything from my list of 32 great things that have happened to me in the past year. I feel as though I've been talking for about 4 hours now, which I obviously haven't been, but I really hope you enjoyed this different style of video. Thank you so much to everyone that sent me tweets, Facebook messages, Instagram DMs and comments and stuff like that. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button down here somewhere to be notified when I upload new videos. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.